Your college roommate just posted from a rooftop bar in Cancun. It's a Tuesday. Her caption says something like, "Needed this." You know she makes $58,000 a year at a marketing agency. You make $72,000. You're eating reheated rice and checking your balance before you order anything above $15. So, what exactly is going on here? This is the question I get more than almost any other. How is everyone affording this? The new Teslas, the kitchen renovations, the weekend trips to Nashville, the $200 brunches that somehow happen every single Sunday. And what the data reveals is going to make you feel better about your own situation and significantly angrier at everything else. My name is Trey, and I spend a little too much time thinking about personal finance. My goal with this video is to improve your money mindset. So let's take a closer look, because here's the short answer to what's really going on. How are your friends affording this lifestyle? Most of them aren't. They're financing a performance, and the system designed to make that performance look real is sophisticated, expensive, and targeting you specifically. If you've ever felt genuinely behind while watching someone post their third vacation this year, make sure to subscribe, because today we're pulling the curtain all the way back. Before we get into the mechanics of how this works, it helps to understand the psychological baseline we're starting from. The average person scrolls through social media for roughly 2 hours and 20 minutes per day. That is over 35 hours per month staring at a curated selection of everyone else's best moments. For people aged 18 to 34, the number is even higher. You are not just passively observing these lifestyles, you are marinating in them. Your brain is receiving 35 hours of monthly data suggesting that this is normal, achievable, and something you should want. The algorithm amplifies the content that generates the most engagement, which means the most extreme versions of wealth signaling get shown to more people more often. Moderation is boring. A modest kitchen renovation does not perform well. A $40,000 kitchen renovation filmed in 4K with trending audio does. You are not seeing a representative sample of how people live. You are seeing a highlight reel filtered through an engagement algorithm that profits when you feel inadequate and constantly feeling like there is something wrong with you and your life is a sucky place to be. Let's start with the most visible piece of the illusion. The car. The average new car payment in America is now $735 a month. For trucks and SUVs, which is what most people are actually buying, it routinely clears $1,000. Dealers got there by stretching loan terms from 4 years to 6, from 60 to 84 months. And now 10-year car loans exist as an actual product you can sign your name to. The monthly number drops. The total you pay balloons. When 5 years have elapsed on a 7-year loan, you owe more than the car is worth. Most people trade in at exactly that point, roll the negative equity into something newer and more expensive, and restart the clock. That is not affording it. That is a revolving debt trap dressed up in heated seats and a panoramic sunroof. Federal Reserve data shows the average American household carries around $23,000 in auto loan debt. That is not one outlier with bad taste. That is the median. The car in the driveway that makes your neighbor look successful is probably the single biggest reason they have almost nothing saved. What is particularly insidious about car debt is its invisibility in the wealth calculation. When someone asks your neighbor for their net worth, they might mention the house. They will not mention the $18,000 they still owe on the BMW. The car depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot, yet the debt obligation remains. Someone making $65,000 a year with a $950 monthly car payment is committing over 17.5% of their gross income to a depreciating asset. Factor in insurance, gas, and maintenance, and you are easily at 25% or more of gross income dedicated to car ownership. That is not a luxury. That is a financial straitjacket. Yet the Instagram post shows only the vehicle pulling into the driveway, not the reduction in retirement contributions or the delayed emergency fund that made II possible. Then there is the house. The median home price in the United States is sitting around $400,000. A conventional 20% down payment on that is $80,000 cash. The median savings account in America holds about $8,000. So nearly everyone buying right now is putting down 3 to 5%, triggering private mortgage insurance, and financing a $380,000 loan at current rates somewhere around 7%. That is a monthly payment north of $2,600 before you add property taxes, insurance, or the HVAC that will absolutely fail at the worst possible moment. For someone earning the median household income of $84,000, that is nearly 50% of gross pay going to one line item. The standard rule is that housing should not exceed 28% of income. Half the country is blowing past that threshold and calling it the American dream. The manicured lawn and the Ring doorbell are real. The financial margin behind them often is not. Homeownership is simultaneously the most accessible wealth-building tool available and the most dangerous financial trap when pursued with the wrong metrics. A mortgage builds equity, which is valuable, but only if you are actually building equity rather than servicing debt. The person who buys a $400,000 house with 5% down and plans to stay for 7 years is not building meaningful equity. They are paying interest. In the first year of a 30-year mortgage at 7%, roughly 82% of your payment goes to interest. You are funneling $2,100 per month toward interest alone. Meanwhile, that person is posting photos of their new walk-in closet and their expanded patio. The equity is happening so slowly that it is essentially invisible. What is highly visible is the lifestyle upgrade, the new address, the ability to say you own a home. The financial reality is much less photogenic. But the car and the house are not even the whole picture. About a third of adults between 18 and 34 are currently living with their parents. 1 in 3. If you are making $50,000 a year and your housing costs are zero, you have more disposable income than someone earning $85,000 and renting in a mid-tier city. That person posting luxury weekends and a brand new Audi might not be earning more than you. They may have simply eliminated their largest expense entirely. You will never see that context in the post. The car shows up. The Venmo from mom does not. A 2024 survey found that roughly 50% of parents with adult children are providing some form of regular financial support. The average monthly amount is nearly $1,500. Rent help, car payments, phone bills, insurance. It does not show up Instagram. It shows up in the lifestyle you are comparing yourself to and cannot figure out how to replicate. Here is what that comparison costs you psychologically. The term is social comparison theory. Humans are wired to measure their success relative to others. It is not a flaw, it is biology. It made sense when your comparison group was 30 people in your immediate community. It breaks down completely when your comparison group is 400 million people online, curated specifically to show you their best moments. You are not comparing yourself to your actual peers. You are comparing your full internal experience, the stress, the trade-offs, the Sunday night math, against someone else's external highlight reel. That is not a fair fight. You will lose every single time. The automotive ads, the real estate platforms, the credit card rewards programs, all of it is engineered to make spending look like identity and debt look like ambition. They have spent billions building that architecture. Your discomfort is not a side effect. It is the product. Now here is what the actual data says about who is building real wealth. The Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances shows median net worth for Americans under 35 is roughly $39,000. That includes everything: home equity, retirement accounts, checking, savings. For ages 35 to 44, it climbs to around $135,000, but the majority of that is locked in home equity you cannot access without selling the house or taking on more debt. Liquid net worth is often a fraction of that headline number. A Ramsey Solutions study of over 10,000 millionaires found that 79% received zero inheritance. The most common career field was not crypto or tech. It was accounting. The typical time frame stretched to 28 years. Not genius, not a viral moment. 28 years of ignoring the performance and running boring math consistently. The people who look the wealthiest in your feed are statistically not the ones building anything real. The ones quietly building something real generally look completely average. That is not an accident. It is the outcome of the same math running in the other direction. It's an outcome that comes from the correct money mindset and many years of boring investments in a 401k and Roths. Slow and steady wins the race. Learn to be okay with being the turtle. The millionaire data also reveals something else that never goes viral. Those high-income earners, the ones making $200,000 or $300,000 per year, are not proportionally wealthier than those making $100,000. In fact, many are less so. Why? Because lifestyle has expanded to match income. The person earning $300,000 is often living a $280,000 lifestyle. The person earning $100,000 who has chosen to live a $60,000 lifestyle has more remaining wealth at the end of the year. Income and wealth are not the same thing. Wealth is what you keep. Income is just what you make. This distinction is everything, and it is the part that never makes it into the Instagram post. The luxury car purchased by the six-figure earner and the modest Honda owned by the six-figure earner both cost money monthly. One is a status symbol. The other is transportation. The person in the Honda, over 30 years, accumulates hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional wealth. The person in the luxury car accumulates stress and payments. So, what do you actually do with this? You stop competing with a ledger you cannot see. The person who just bought the $95,000 truck might be 6 months from a financial emergency they have zero cushion for. The influencer in the beach house might be running 4 credit cards and a lifestyle that depends on brand deals never drying up. You have no idea. And that is the point. You were never supposed to. The comparison was always broken from the start. Your only honest benchmark is where you were a year ago. Are you saving more? Is your debt lower? Is your net worth moving in the right direction? That is the actual scoreboard. Everything else is theater. Expensive, well-lit, algorithmically optimized theater. And somewhere behind most of that performance, people are lying awake on a Sunday doing the exact same math you are, just in a house they cannot quite afford and a car they definitely cannot.